everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful shawl or wrap here. I know that it looks complicated. It's not. It's not. It's probably considered an advanced stitch, but you know what? I'm going to teach you how to do it, and it's not hard at all. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that lacy stuff. Woo! All right. So I'll give you some measurements, okay, on mine, and I'll give you the multiple so you can adjust it in case you don't want yours like mine. So mine's big. So mine's about 86 inches long, and then it's about 16 inches wide without the tassels. With the tassels, it's about, if you go from the top down to the tassels, it's about 22. So what do you think? You want to do it? Oh, it's so pretty. Don't be intimidated by it. If you can double crochet, you can do this, and I'm going to show you the way. Let's get started on it. Okay, for this project, I used a Rowan Summerlight DK. It is an Egyptian cotton, 100%. So there are 142 yards per ball of this. Now this is a lightweight 3. And I went through about 7 balls. So you don't have to use this yarn. Any lightweight 3 will work. Lightweight 3 will give it a nice drape. You're going to need about 975 yards, I would say, of a lightweight 3 to complete the shawl in the size that I made. And then I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5mm crochet hook. Now remember, if you don't want to use a lightweight 3, you can use any weight that you want, but if you do use a 4-weight, it may not have quite the drape on it as mine does. And if you use a 2-weight yarn, you'll probably need to adjust the length because it'll be a little bit shorter than mine. But otherwise, yes, any weight will work. But for mine, 3-weight, about 975 yards. Oh, and I purchased this at the Wool Warehouse, but you can find it at a lot of different places. Comes in a bunch of different colors. Okay, now this stitch is done in a multiple of 21 plus 4, which means that your beginning chain needs to be evenly divisible by 21, and then you add 4 more stitches to the base chain. So if you want to follow along with me, I started out with a chain of 256 stitches. Now I'm going to show you with a lighter color yarn because that black would be hard to see, and on a smaller scale. Okay, so once you get your chain of 256 done, we are going to do 3 double crochets in the 5th stitch from our hook. So we don't count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, in the 5th stitch, we will work 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So what we have here is this chain right here is acting as a double crochet and a chain 1 space, and then we have our 3 double crochets. Now we are going to skip 2, 1, 2, so skip, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. Like that. And then we're going to skip 2 again, skip, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. Just 1, 2, and 3. Now what we're going to do now is we are going to do a chain of 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. So I chained 13. Now I'm going to skip 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next one I'm going to work 3 double crochets. So I skipped 5 and now I'm working 3 doubles. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now I am going to skip 2, skip, and work 3 doubles into the next. I want to do this skip 2, 3 doubles for a total of 6 times. So I'll have 6 of these 3 double crochets into the same stitch. So there's 2. So again, skip 2, skip, 3 doubles into the next. Skip 2, skip, 3 doubles into the next. I have 4 done, so I'm going to do it again. Skip 2, skip, 3 doubles into the next. That. Skip 2, skip, and 3 doubles into the next. So now when you look, you'll have 6 of those 3 double crochets into the same stitch. And now we will start our repeating again starting with this chain 13 that we did. So we're going to chain 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 doubles into the next one. There's 1, 2, 3, and again, this is what it's kind of looking like. That's okay. We're going to take care of these chain spaces later. And we're going to do that again where we want skip 2, 3 doubles into the next, and we want to have 6 total of these 3 doubles into the same stitch with 2 chain spaces in between each one. Skip 2, 3 doubles into the next. Skip 2, 3 doubles into the next. Skip 2, 3 doubles into the next. And there I have 5, so I need to do it one more time. Skip 2, 3 doubles into the next. And then we repeat again by chaining 13, skipping 5, and doing our 6 sets of 3 double crochets in between our chains of 13. And we want to do that until we get to the end of the row. All right, I'm coming to the end, and I have 6, you can see there, of the sets of 3 double crochet. So I'm going to do a chain 13, and then I'm going to skip 5 again here, and the next one I'm going to put 3 double crochets, And then I'm going to skip 2, 3 doubles into the next, skip 2, skip, 3 doubles into the next, and you should have 2 stitches that remain. You want to skip 1 and end by double crocheting into the last. So that way your beginning matches your end. So there you go. So you should have a total now of 12 of these chain 13 spaces at the end of row 1, if you're following along with me. Now row 2 starts the repeat rows. It is a 10 row repeat rows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Those are the repeat rows. Now if you look in the comments section, I will pin the rows, repeat rows, the beginning of each row. I'll put a timestamp. That way you don't have to keep reversing and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and start row 2, which starts the beginning of our repeat rows. We are going to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Now that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Now we're going to put a double crochet right back into that very first stitch. Like that. Now we are going to skip this set of 3 double crochets, and we're going to work 3 double crochets right here in between. So you see these 2 sets of 3, one here and one here. We're going to work 3 doubles right here in this space. So we're going to go right into it, right through the space, and work 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to jump to the next one, the space in between right here, and work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and there's 3. And now what we're going to do is we are going to work a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this chain 13 here, we're going to put a single crochet just kind of right up in the middle of it. I go right through it and single crochet, just like that. It'll even out later, just like so. That's what we're going to do. Now we're going to work a chain of 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to come on down here, and we're going to work 3 double crochets in the middle of each one of these spaces from the 3 double crochets before. So I got this chain 6 on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and go right in between here and work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3. So that's what that kind of looks like so far. And then each one of these spaces between the 3 double crochets from the previous row gets 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Go to the next one. 1, 2, 3. And then the next one. 1, 2, 3. And the next one. 1, excuse me, 2, and 3. So now you'll have 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last row you had 6. So each row you'll continue to get, you'll have 1 less each row. So we have 5 now. Now we're going to start again by chaining, or repeat again for the row by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's our chain 13. We're just going to go right through it and single crochet. And we chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we need to come down here and we need to put 3 double crochets in between each of these spaces, in between each of the 3 sets of double crochet from the previous row. So I got the chain 6 on my hook. I'm just going to yarn over, come all the way down, and work 3 double crochet into this space. 2, 3, and into the space between the next sets. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I have a cat pulling on my yarn. Oh my gosh, I do. And 3 in between the next. Just like that. And now we're up to our chain 13 again, and if you look, you'll have 5 sets now of 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to start our repeat again by chaining 6. And single crocheting into that chain 13 here. Chain 6 again, and start again by putting 3 double crochets in between each of these double crochets down here until you get to the end of your row. Okay, when you make it to the end of the row here, you chain 6, and you'll have the 3 sets of double crochet there from the previous row. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in this space and 3 double crochets in this space. So make sure you do your chain 6 and put 3 double crochets into the first space. There's 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to end by putting 2 double crochets into this last stitch here. So the top of that turn chain, we put 2 double crochets. And that'll end row 2. And that's what it starts to look like. Don't worry if it's looking like funny, because these will even out once we get some more single crochets on them. Now remember, following my pattern, you're always going to have 12 of this little area right here where we chained 13. It's always going to be 12 12 of the chain areas here. So that's what you're looking for. Okay, let's continue for row 3. Row 3, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Now we're going to put a double crochet, or 3 double crochets, I'm sorry, right here into this space. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets here into the next space there in between the sets. 1, 2, 3, and now we are going to do a chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are going to put a single crochet right here into the first chain space, or the last chain space of this chain 6. So you're going into that last chain space, and working a single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet on top of this single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet into the first chain space here on this chain 6. Like that. So you'll have 3 single crochets there. And then we are going to chain 6. That. And we're going to come down and we're going to work 3 double crochets in between each of these spaces here. So all the way down here, 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, 3. Next one, 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3. Next one, 3 doubles in between. 1, 2, 3. 3 doubles in between the next. 1, 2, and 3. And if you look, you'll have 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to repeat what we did a while ago. So we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to come up here to this chain 6 here. In the last chain of it, we're going to single crochet into that last chain of this chain 6. Like that. Then we're going to single crochet into the next single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet into the first chain here of this chain 6. Like that. So you got 3 single crochets there. And now we chain 6 again. Come down here and we work 3 double crochets in between each of these sets of 3 double crochet. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way until we get to the end of row 3. And that's what it's going to start to look like. Just kind of a bunch of chains. Chains and double crochets. That's fine. We'll get it to looking good. Don't worry. So we're going to repeat that until we get to the end of the row. Okay, I've come to the end. So I've worked my 3 single crochets here across this area. I chained 6 and now I'm going to work 3 double crochets here, 3 double crochets here at the end. Now we're going to go ahead and end by putting a double crochet into the top of the last stitch, top of this turn chain here, top of that chain 3, 1 double crochet, just like that, and that will end row 3. So that's what she's starting to look like. All right, let's keep going. Row 4, we're going to chain 3, turn our work. We're going to go back into this same stitch right here and put another double crochet. Now we got this right here. We have 2 sets from the previous row of 3 double crochets. We're going to put 3 double crochets right here in the middle. Like that. And again, now we're going to do a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to put a single crochet into the last chain of this chain 6 from the previous row. So that last chain, single crochet into it, and single crochet across the 3 single crochets from the previous row. So there's 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the last chain of, or the first chain of this 6 here, chain 6. So there we go. Now you'll have 5 single crochets across that area. And we'll start again by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come down here and we're going to work 3 double crochets in between each of these 3 double crochets from the previous row. Go to the next one. And the next one. Now you'll have 3 sets of double crochet there. And again, we're going to chain 6. Come on up here, and we are going to single crochet into the last stitch of the chain 6 from the previous row. Single crochet in the next 3 single crochets from the previous row. And single crochet in the first stitch here of this chain 6 from the previous row. And you'll have 5 single crochets there again. And then you just repeat, chain 6 and continue 3 double crochets in each of these spaces. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. Okay, I'm coming to the end here of round 4. I did my chain 6, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets right here in between these last 2. Like that. And I'm going to go ahead and end by putting 2 double crochets into the last chain 3 here. I'll end row 4 like that. Hey, it's becoming. Little by little, it shall become. All right, let's start round 5. Round 5, we're going to chain 3, turn our work. Okay. Got one little spot here. We're going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets into this spot right here. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start the repeat of our row by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You probably know what's coming. Now we're going to single crochet into the last chain of this chain 6 from the previous row, and then we will single crochet into the next 5 single crochets. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet into the first stitch of this chain 6 from the previous row, and now you will have a total of 7 single crochets up there. Then we're going to chain 6. Come on down here, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in each of these 2 spaces here. And then we're going to repeat, chain 6. 1 single crochet into the last chain of this, of the chain 6 from the previous row. So the last one there, put a single crochet into it. And then we are going to single crochet into the next 5 single crochets. And 1 single crochet into the first stitch here of this chain 6 from the previous row. And you'll have 7 single crochets here. Just like that. And then we chain 6 and repeat. Three double crochets in each of these spaces, and we're going to repeat this pattern until we get to the end of the row. All right, coming to the end, I did a chain 6 here. I got this one little space here. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets into it. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and end by putting a double crochet into the last stitch here at the top of that turn chain. Now in row 5. Okay. Don't worry, these chains can be adjusted there, they'll work out. Okay, now we're going to start row 6. So row 6, we are going to chain 3, turn our work, and we are going to put a double crochet right back here into the same stitch. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a chain of 6, because there's no more spots that we can put any 3 double crochets here on the end. So we're going to do a chain of 6. And we're going to come over here and we're going to put a single crochet into the last chain of this chain 6 from the previous row. And we're going to single crochet into the next 7 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and then we single crochet into the first chain here of this chain 6 from the previous row, and now you will have a total of 9 single crochets that are at the top, and that's the biggest that's going to get. From now on, we're going to start making it smaller slowly. Okay, now we're going to start the repeat of the row. We're going to chain 6, come on down here, and there's one spot that we can put 3 double crochets into, so we'll go right into it and work 3 double crochets. And we chain 6. And come up here, put a single crochet into the last stitch of the chain 6 from the previous row, single crochet in the next 7, and single crochet into the first chain here of this chain 6 from the previous row. 9 single crochets is what you should have across, and then we repeat again. We chain 6, and I got one spot here to put 3 doubles in, chain 6, and then we do our single crochets across here. So I'm just going to keep repeating this until I get to the end of the row. All right, I'm coming to the end here, I just did my single crochet, so I'm going to do a chain of 6. And I'm going to go ahead and end by putting 2 double crochets into my last stitch, which is that chain 3 on the end. There we go. So that'll end row 6. So that's kind of half of it. Now we're going to start building it outward. So let's begin. Row 7. Okay. Row 7, we're going to start by chaining 3 and turning our work. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 3 double crochets just right here at the end of this. So just kind of go into the space, into the chain space, and work 3 double crochets. Just 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. And we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to skip 1 single crochet and single crochet into the next and into the next 6. So you'll have a total of 7 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You'll have this 1 single crochet on the end. You just leave it. You just skip it. Don't do anything with it. And we chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what we're going to do is we are going to see this chain 6 here. We're going to work 3 double crochets here, just right through the chain on the end here. That's 1, 2, 3, and we're going to jump over here to this chain 6 here. We're going to do it again. We're going to work 3 double crochets on the other side of the chain. 1, 2, and 3. So now you can see that we're starting to build up again. We worked from 6 all the way to 1. Now we're going to start from 1 and work back up. So we had 1 here on the previous row. Now we have 2. Now we're going to repeat what we just did. So we're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to skip the first single crochet and single crochet into the next 7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll have 1 single crochet that remains. Just skip it. Chain 6. Come down here, and we're going to put 3 doubles here inside this chain at the end, and 3 doubles here. So just right through the chain. 1, 2, 3. Just jump over here to this, and 3 doubles here. 1, 2, 3. Work your chain of 6. And repeat. Come over here, skip your first single, and work in the next 7. And this is what it's starting to look like. We're going to keep repeating that pattern until we get to the end of the row. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 7. I did my chain 6. I'm going to put 3 double crochets here in this space at the end. So just right through here. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to end by putting 1 double crochet into the top of this last stitch, and row 7. All right, let's start on row 8. We're going to chain 3, turn our work. Going to put 1 double crochet right back into that very same stitch. Like that. Now we're going to skip these 3 doubles and we're going to work 3 double crochet right here into this chain space. There's 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going to start the repeat of the row. So we will chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will skip 1 single crochet and we're going to single crochet into the next 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 1 single crochet left. Just skip it. We pretend like it's not even there. And chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why that keeps slipping off my hook. 6. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to work 3 double crochets into this chain 6 space. So right here, just go into it, kind of at the end, and work 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, and 3. And now there is a space here in between those sets of 3 double crochets from the previous row. Put 3 double crochets into that space. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to put 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space, just kind of right in here. We work, just go into the space and work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3. And now you can see we have 3 sets there. So we're growing. Okay, now we're going to repeat. We're going to chain 6. And we're going to skip 1 single crochet and put a single crochet into the next 5. Chain 6. Skip that last single crochet there. Come all the way down and we're going to put 3 single crochets right here in this chain space. Three single crochets into the space here in between these sets of 3. And 3 double crochets right here at the end of this chain space. And then we will start again by chaining 6 and repeat. So we're going to repeat this pattern all the way till we get to the end of the row. All right, I'm coming to the end and I just chained 6. There was that single crochet there, I skipped it. I'm going to put 3 doubles right here at the end of this chain here from the previous row. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to end by putting 2 double crochets into this last double crochet here. Like that. And that will end row 8. Okay, let's go ahead and start row 9. So row 9 we are going to chain 3, and turn our work like that. So now we have a little space here. See this? So in this space we're going to work 3 double crochets. And then we're going to come over here to this chain space right here and work 3 double crochets here right at the end of it. Now we're going to start the repeat of the row by chaining 6. And we are going to skip the first single crochet, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 3. You'll have 1 single crochet left. Just skip that one, chain 6. Come down here, and we're going to put 3 double crochets right here at the end of the chain. And then we're going to need to put 3 double crochets in each of these spaces between the 3 double crochets from the previous row. And the next one. And then we're going to put 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space. And now we are going to repeat it. So we chain 6 again. And skip the first single crochet, 1 single crochet into the next 3. There's 1, 2, 3. Skip that last single crochet, just leave it blank. Chain 6. And 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets in each of these spaces here. 1, 2, 3, and then the next one. 1, 2, 3, and in this chain space right here, 3 double crochets at the end of it. 1, 2, 3, and then we repeat by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and skipping that first single crochet and putting 1 single crochet into the next 3. So we're just going to repeat this pattern until we get to the end of our row. Okay, I'm coming to the end here, and I want to put 3 double crochets here. I chained 6. 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space. And then we got this little spot here. We're going to put 3 double crochets into that. And then we're going to end row 9 by putting 1 double crochet into the top of the last stitch. Just like that. So that's what it's starting to look like. Okay, row 10, we're going to chain 3, turn our work, and we're going to work 1 double crochet right back into the same stitch. Like that. And then we are going to put right here in this spot, we're going to work 3 double crochets. And then we're going to work 3 double crochets right here at the end of this chain space. Like that. And we're going to do a chain of 6. We're going to start, this starts the repeat of the row. And we got 3 single crochets here. We're going to skip one single crochet into the center one, and skip the other one. Now we're going to chain 6. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to work 3 double crochets here right at the end of this chain space. So we work 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work 3 doubles in each one of these spaces from the previous row. So there's 3 there, and then the next one. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 doubles into the next one. 2, 3, and then 3 doubles here at the end of this chain space. So just right through the chain space, we work 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then we repeat again, and we chain 6. 6. Come over here. We got 3 single crochets. We are going to skip 1, single crochet into the center one, and skip the last one, chain 6. 3 double crochets right here at the end of this chain space. And 3 double crochets in each of these spaces from the previous row. And 3 double crochets at the end of this chain space, and then you repeat again by chaining 6, and we're going to repeat this until we get to the end of the row. Okay, I'm coming to the end, so I just did my chain 6. I'm going to put 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space. So there's 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets into this spot right here. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to end by putting 2 double crochets into the top of this last chain 3 here. And that will end row 10. So now we're going to do row 11, which is the final row of our repeat. So we are going to chain 3 and turn our work. So this is kind of similar to row 1, I guess. We're going to start by doing, this is the row where we do our long chain of 13 again. So we're going to start by putting 3 double crochets right here in these first 2 spaces. Next one, next space, 3 doubles. 3 doubles here at the end of this chain space. And then we're going to do our chain of 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Come on over here, and then we're going to work 3 doubles here at the end of this chain space right here with this big long chain of 13 on our hook. Come right down, right through the space, and we'll work 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work 3 doubles in each one of these spaces from the previous row. And then 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain 6 from the previous row. And if you look, we'll back up to 6 of these sets of 3 like we were in the beginning. And now we're just going to repeat by chaining 13. Come on away over here, and we're going to work 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space. And 3 double crochets in each of these spaces, and we're just going to repeat that until we get to the end of the row. And this is what it starts to look like. So that's kind of like a complete repeat. This is, I think I mentioned it later, that this is a project that you would probably benefit from blocking, but I did not block mine, so that is completely up to you. But I'm going to continue this until I get to the end of the row. Okay, I'm coming to the end here. I just chained 13, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets here at the end of this chain space from the previous row. It's always the hardest part right here. For me anyways. 3 doubles in each of these 2 chain spaces, or these spaces here. And we're going to finish round 11 by putting a double crochet into the top of the last stitch, top of that chain 3. And that finishes out the repeat rows. There it is. So this is what it looks like with the 4-weight yarn. I used a 4-weight regular 100% acrylic 4-weight. So what you want to do now is keep repeating rows 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now remember, look for those timestamps below at the very top of the comment section. It'll be a comment from me. I went ahead and did 30 rows. Now if you do more than me, finish out a repeat of row 10, and then we'll do row 11 differently. So I'll meet back up with you in here in just a second. Okay, so I have got my 30 rows done. Now I ended on I'm getting ready to start a round 11 repeat. Now you can make yours as big as you'd like, but mine as it stands is about 16 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out around 11, but I'm going to do it, or row 11, but I'm going to do it just a little bit different to finish out that. And then I'm going to come down here and do a couple of rows too, so I can make both sides kind of match. Okay, so once you get it as long or as wide as you want it to be, go ahead and finish out row 10, and then we will stop. We'll go ahead and do row 11 and we'll stop on that row, but we're going to do it differently than the other rows. So this is my finishing row, and it's actually row 31 on mine, but it's a repeat of row 11 with one difference here. It's just one little thing that's different. So we're going to go ahead and chain 3 and turn our work. Now we're going to go ahead and put our 3 double crochet, one here and here in between our 3 double crochets from the previous row. So just like normal, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then we jump over here to the next space here, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then in this up here at the top of this chain space, oh, I didn't finish that out, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Now here's where the difference comes. We want the bottom of our work to look like where we started, the top of our work. So instead of doing the big long chain, what we're going to do here to make the bottom match the other bottom and the top, we're going to do a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we are going to come right over here to the other side of the chain and work our 3 double crochets at the top of the chain, just like we normally did. So the only difference in this round than normal is the chain length is 6. It's not the big long chain anymore. Just like that. See that? Now this is more straight across, so we can work with it better. So I'm going to continue putting my 3 double crochets in each of these each of these spaces in between the groups of 3 double crochet, just like we normally do. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do this until we get to the next chain space. Okay, here we are again, and this is what we're going to do. So we'll go ahead and do our 3 double crochets into like the top of this chain space, just like normal. Now we're going to work a chain of 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jump over here to the chain over here on this side, and we work our 3 double crochets. So this is what we're going to repeat all the way around. So it's exactly the same repeat as every row 11 repeat, except for the chain amount is now 6, and that's the only difference. So I'm going to continue this until I get to the end of the row. All right, I have come to the end, and I just did my last 3 double crochets in this space, and I'm going to double crochet into the top of my last turn chain, and that'll finish that out. Now I'm going to do one more thing to finish out the bottom. I'm going to put a row of single crochet. So what I'm going to do, so this would actually be row 32 for me. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. So what I'm going to do is put 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then 6 single crochets along each of the chain spaces. So we're going to go ahead and start out, and we're going to single crochet right back into the very first stitch. And we're going to work 1 single crochet on top of every double crochet. This is just going to give it a little bit of a finished look on the bottom, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so once you get to your chain spot here, you can do one single crochet by going through each of the 6 chain spaces, but I think I am just going to do 6 single crochets. I'm just going to go right around. Either way is fine. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you jump over here to where the double crochets are and start again by putting 1 single crochet in each of those. Now you might have to spread out your single crochets across the chain to make them look a bit even, but that's what I'm going to do all the way across. So 1 single crochet in every double crochet and 6 single crochets through each of the chain 6 spaces. And I'm going to continue this until I get to the end of the row. Okay, I'm coming to the end here of my row with my single crochet. So I have 1 single crochet and then 1 single crochet into the top of my turn chain, and then we are going to tie this off here. Now, like I said, you might have to go through these chain spaces and kind of even out your single crochets a little bit. But before now what I'm going to do is flip it around to the other side, to the bottom half or top or whatever you want to call it. Leave it where the single crochets are facing upright. Just flip it around so the single crochets will be facing the same direction up here. So when I look down here, the single crochet row I just did is facing upright, so I want it to face upright down here also, so they look the same. So I'm going to start over here in the corner, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do the single crochets across in every stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and start in my first chain 3 there, start my yarn, and chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same stitch and single crochet. So it might be just a bit different here at the bottom, because as you can see we skipped some stitches here for the beginning row. So what we're going to do now is we're going to single crochet right here in between this chain space and this double crochet. I'm going to kind of hide that tail as I go, and then a single crochet right here, and see where these 3 double crochets go together into that 1 stitch. Put 1 single crochet into that spot like that, and then we skipped 2 chains, so we're going to put 2 stitches in this chain space. Remember, we're working at around our very first row. We're just cleaning it up. And then 1 single crochet here where these 3 double crochets go together. And then 2 single crochets into this chain 2 space right here. And 1 single crochet right here where these 3 double crochets go into, like that. Okay, now down here we had a chain of 5 that we skipped, so we're just going to go ahead and put 5. So it's similar to the top but a bit different. That, and then we're going to continue along. So 1 single crochet right here where these 3 double crochets go together, 2 single crochets into this chain 2 space on the bottom, 1, 2. I'm just kind of cleaning up the edges. 1 single crochet here where these 3 double crochets go together, 2 single crochets into this chain 2 space, 1 single crochet where these 3 go together. We're going to repeat this, 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space, and 1 single crochet where these 3 go together, and then we have this chain 5, so we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're just going to continue this. And again, this is, you'll probably have to straighten these single crochets across the top there, just like you did at the bottom, but that's just going to clean up the bottom edge. So we're going to do this all the way across the bottom. Okay, I'm coming to the end here. So what we're going to do is, I have these 3 double crochets here. I'm going to go single crochet into that space, and then I'm going to single crochet in between the last stitch and these 3 double crochets, so go right into that space, and then I'm going to single crochet into the top of the last stitch, and then I'm going to tie this off. Hey, we're almost done. Actually, you can be done if you don't want fringe on it. So right up here where we put the 5 single crochets into the chain 5 spaces, I'm going to say that's the top of my work. But I want to put some fringe on mine, so I'm going to go down to the bottom where we put 6 single crochets in these. Now that makes them hang just a bit, and that is where I'm going to put my fringe on each one of these little hangy spots. Or tassels would look really cool, however you want to do it, or you know, you can leave it plain if you want. This is a shawl that might benefit from blocking. As you can see, all the chain spaces. I never block my work, so I won't be blocking it. But if you're a fan of blocking, by all means, you could wet block this or something. Get it wet if you don't know what that is, and then you pin it down to exactly the position that you want it, like this, nice and tight. All your chains exactly where you want them, and then you let it dry, and then when you pick it up, it should stay in the same spot. But then again, it has to be redone once the shawl is worn a lot or it gets washed. So I don't generally, I never block anything. So I'm going to make some fringe for my little points down here at the bottom. I'm going to show you how I'm going to add fringe down here to my bottom where these kind of point out. So I have 12 pieces of yarn that I have cut. Now you can make your fringe thicker by adding more yarn to it, or thinner if you don't want as many strands, but they are about 1 foot long each. So what you do is you just put your fingers from the bottom of, so this is the front side of our work. Our last row of single crochet is facing upright. In the bottom of my, you can look and see that my 3 double crochets are going in a downward motion. So that's what I'm making the bottom. So what you do is you go from underneath this little loop here, and you grab your yarn, your strands, and pull them through, but not all the way. Now even them up here at the bottom, I know it's hard to see with that black, but try to get them even there at the bottom, and then you just take them, put your fingers and pull them through that loop, pull them out, and there you have a nice little tassel. And you could trim them up at the bottom later and see if, you know, if they're not completely straight, or you can trim them up. Now that's what I'm going to do for the next one, and all of them actually. So I have my 12 pieces of string here, or yarn, yarn, and they're about a foot long. Get them all as even as possible. And again, I'm going to come down here to my next chain space. I'm going to go underneath it with my fingers, and I'm going to pull it through like this to where there's a little ring here. And then I'm going to get my bottoms as even as possible, like that. And then all I do is pull these through the loop, like that. Kind of pull a little bit, and then I kind of pull the chain apart a bit so it's not tugging too hard. And there is my second. I like it. I like it with the fringe, second little fringe. I got a little hangy here. All you got to do is clip that off with my dull scissors. There we go. Now this is what I'm going to do to each one of these chain spaces along the bottom. All right, I'm finished. I think it's really, really pretty. I like it a lot. I know I don't have a lot of room, but there's those tassels. It's gorgeous. The black is gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shawl. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope it made it easy for you to follow along. You know, I'd really love to see a picture of this if you make this, or anything that you make. Come follow me on Instagram. Hashtag me, Bagoday Crochet. And I will see it. It doesn't have to be this, but anything. But especially if you make this, because this is a gorgeous, gorgeous shawl. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, notifications set to all, so you get all my videos, not just tutorials, yarn content, and when I do a giveaways occasionally. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good day, okay? Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.